The Arizona desert wakes under a golden sunrise. A new kind of city rises from the sand, built not on gold but on silicon. 5 years after TSMC's bold announcement, this once barren land now hums with the heartbeat of machines and ambition. Inside Semicon West 2025, the world's biggest chip show unfolds as thousands of engineers fill the Phoenix convention halls. Once dominated by Asia's tech giants, the semiconductor spotlight now blazes across the Arizona sky. Here, phrases like supply chain resilience and bringing manufacturing home feel less like policy talk and more like a mission. Across the aisles, AI is everywhere, the buzzword that drives every booth and every dream. Applied Materials warns that by 2030, AI data centers could consume 10% of the planet's energy. Engineers discuss new solutions, from gate-all-around transistors to advanced packaging, to tame AI's insatiable power thirst. Everywhere people speak of digital twins, virtual replicas that mirror real-world fabs in perfect data-driven detail. The idea is simple: use data from the real world to build virtual models that make factories smarter and faster. NVIDIA calls it the age of the digital twin, every chip, every factory, every process mirrored in virtual precision. From aerospace to energy, everyone wants a digital mirror, a way to predict the future before it happens. But beyond the buzzwords, the real transformation is unfolding in the Arizona heat, where factories rise from sand. Phoenix's semiconductor story goes back decades, to 1948, when Motorola built a tiny electronics lab here. By 1980, Intel arrived in Chandler, and with it, a boom that doubled the town's population in just 15 years. Even after Motorola left, its legacy lived on through onsemi and NXP, proof that Phoenix never lost its spark. But no story reshaped this desert more than TSMC's bold leap, a foreign titan building on American soil. Skeptics called it a mirage, another Foxconn fiasco waiting to happen. But the cranes kept moving. Despite delays, lawsuits, and cultural clashes, the dream refused to die, and the fab finally stood tall. By late 2025, Phase 1 was alive. Wafers rolling off the lines, proof that grit can build miracles in the desert. With production underway, TSMC poured billions more into Arizona, proof that this experiment was no mirage. By 2025, the desert skyline glittered with steel shells, Phase 2 climbing beside the first, Phase 3 already mapped. Economists called it the Silicon Desert Effect. As factories rose, so did housing, schools, and coffee shops. Real estate developers quickly claimed the surrounding desert, 2,300 acres destined to become Halo Vista. The name, Halo Vista, felt futuristic, a city within a city built to house the new generation of chipmakers. 2 new Marriott hotels and a Costco were announced, proof that commerce follows silicon like iron to a magnet. Locals dreamed of another Hsinchu, a high-tech hub without the traffic nightmares of Taiwan's silicon capital. For TSMC, localization became the next battle, replacing imports with American suppliers ready to match Taiwan's pace. American vendors soon learned that working with TSMC meant speed, discipline, and relentless precision. Some called it a gravy train gone wrong, but TSMC's standards pushed every partner to evolve or fall behind. Inside the fab, American and Taiwanese engineers worked side by side, different accents, same obsession with perfection. But outside the gates, not everyone was impressed. Locals grumbled about foreign workers and foreign ways. Online forums buzzed, arguments about visas, language, and who the new jobs really belonged to. For TSMC's Taiwanese staff, the move was daunting, a new world of rules, food, and expectations. Cultural training sessions tried to bridge the gap. Don't just translate words, one trainer said, translate habits. Engineers joked about lost in translation moments. But everyone knew this was serious. Billions were at stake. Our teams scrambled to localize, hiring Arizona graduates hungry to join the Silicon Revolution. For many locals, joining TSMC meant learning new habits, tight schedules, silent meetings, and relentless precision. Some days felt impossible, communication misfires, overnight shifts, and desert heat testing every limit. Yet every wafer that passed inspection carried pride, proof that people from two worlds could build one dream. Beyond the main fab, smaller firms began to orbit TSMC, each one chasing a slice of the silicon boom. In Peoria, Amkor Technology broke ground on a $7 billion plant to package chips fresh from TSMC's lines. Other names followed: Allring, Chroma, Winway, Delta, each bringing specialized tools for AI and advanced packaging. Like fish following a shark, dozens of suppliers swarmed the valley, each betting that Phoenix was the next Taipei. Amcor's arrival turned Peoria into an unexpected hub, an American company standing shoulder to shoulder with Taiwan's best. Every announcement sparked new jobs, new schools, new hope. The desert was becoming a city that never sleeps. But even as money flowed in, the old questions remained: water, power, and whether the desert could sustain it all. Developers promised smart irrigation and sustainable housing, a future where chips and conservation coexist. The local governments called it a renaissance, the biggest industrial revival in Arizona since Intel first came to Chandler. To some, this was more than industry. It was redemption for a nation that once outsourced its own future. Local suppliers raced to catch up, retooling factories and retraining workers to meet the precision TSMC demanded. For some, it meant abandoning old habits. Good enough no longer existed in this new silicon culture. The new partnerships weren't easy. Contracts came with brutal deadlines, tighter margins, and zero tolerance for delay. But every shipment that met TSMC's standard felt like a victory, proof that American factories could still match the best. TSMC's culture of speed began to spread. Across Phoenix, people spoke of deadlines like they were battle cries. The city adapted too. Community colleges launched chip-making courses, and classrooms filled overnight. Students once bound for tech support or retail now dreamed of clean rooms, lasers, and a future inside white suits. At night, Phoenix glowed with ambition, factories buzzing, highways lit with truck convoys hauling the future. From afar, it looked unstoppable, an economy reborn under the neon glow of semiconductors. But under the optimism, quiet questions lingered. Could the miracle survive the politics and the pressure? Washington watched closely. The desert had become the proving ground for America's return to manufacturing power. Bills and subsidies flowed from Capitol Hill. The CHIPS Act turned speeches into concrete and circuit boards. Across the ocean, allies watched. Europe, Japan, and Taiwan all tightened their own silicon alliances. TSMC's founder once said, "Efficiency is universal." Now his company proved it, even under a foreign sun. Phase 3 began before Phase 2 even finished, a sign that momentum had become its own fuel. Politicians visited for photo ops, but engineers knew the truth. The real battle was in microns, not votes. Each chip born in Arizona carried a tiny piece of the American experiment: global talent, local soil, shared ambition. Still, the world outside was changing faster than anyone predicted. AI demand kept doubling every year. From ChatGPT to autonomous cars, the planet craved more chips than any single fab could ever supply. For Phoenix, it meant one thing: keep building, keep hiring, keep believing that this time, the boom won't fade. Around the fab, suburbs bloomed, homes, cafes, and parks appeared where only cactus once stood. Developers called it the city within a city, a living lab powered by clean energy and smart grids. Halo Vista's billboards promised a lifestyle of chips and coffee, where coders met baristas under desert stars. Schools sprang up too, children of engineers learning robotics before they learned handwriting. Local restaurants rebranded, dumplings next to tacos, bubble tea beside iced coffee, cultures melting under one roof. For newcomers, Arizona felt like a frontier, where you could build a career and a life under the same blue sky. Property values soared, and the city's once quiet streets echoed with construction and laughter. But behind the growth, some feared the boom was pricing out locals and draining the water table dry. Environmentalists warned that a fab needs millions of gallons a day, and Arizona was already running dry. Still, the vision pushed forward, builders, teachers, engineers all believing that this was history in motion. The hum of the fabs blended with the desert wind, two rhythms beating as one, man and machine shaping a new world. Inside, AI ran simulations of itself, machines teaching machines how to think faster, cooler, smarter. Across the ocean, Taiwanese families watched live streams of their relatives building history under the Arizona sun. For the locals, it was a source of pride, a new identity forged in silicon, sweat, and desert dust. Intel, Samsung, and Micron all took notice. Suddenly, America was building fabs again like it was the 1980s. The ripple spread beyond Phoenix. Across America, engineers found reasons to believe in making again. Investors called it the second Silicon Valley. Locals preferred a simpler name, the Silicon Desert. For TSMC, the journey was hard, imperfect, human, but every mistake became a lesson etched into steel and silicon. For America, it was redemption, a chance to prove that innovation wasn't lost, just waiting for a new generation to believe. The desert still sleeps under the same stars, but tonight, its silence is broken by the sound of a nation dreaming again.